Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Happy to have you. My name is Erin and on this channel I'm documenting my husband and I's journey to debt freedom and financial independence and just kind of holding ourselves accountable by sharing with other people our budgeting and what we're basically all the different steps that we're taking to achieve the goals that we set for ourselves at the beginning of 2021. So today is a cash stuffing day. As my husband would say, it is a stuffing Saturday. And this is essentially we're going to be stuffing our cash envelopes only. So no sinking funds today, just our cash envelopes for the next 2 weeks. So everything that I am putting in is for an entire fortnight. We do not spend $1,625 in variable expenses per week. Australia is expensive, but it's not that expensive. So I've got my handy dandy cheat sheet here. I'm just going to kind of keep this off to the side. I will go ahead and get set up and we will jump right into this. Okay, and we are all set up and ready to roll. Now, if you are new here and you are wondering what is going on with this very colorful funny money, don't let the accent fool you. I live in Australia, and so this is the money that we have here. I think that it is actually quite beautiful, different sizes, and also has Braille on it just to help individuals with visual impairments be able to find the different notes that they need. And kind of, one of the nice things about it being so pretty is sometimes I really don't want to spend it, even after 11 years. Our first variable expense is going to be our groceries. We need food on the table so that I can cook it and put that into our bellies. For that, we give ourselves $200 per week. So this is a budget for 2 adults. We do have dietary restrictions for myself. My husband can eat just whatever he wants. So we're going to get $400 total. That's going to be 2 $100 bills and 2 50s, 2, 3, 4 20s, and 2 10s. So we'll go ahead and count that up real quick. 100, 200, 250, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, and 400. I do meal planning, again, because I'm on a relatively specialized diet, so my meals are all planned out for me every day and for the entire week. I shop to that meal plan. I'm not one of those once a week shoppers. I tend to go multiple times throughout the week depending on the additional items that I have to pick up. I cook with a lot of fresh food, a lot of fresh seafood, which is part of why I don't do things like grocery haul videos. And honestly, my grocery shops usually look like this. And who really wants to see just a whole bunch of veg and fruit? Not much fun really in that, but quite enjoyable to eat. Second is going to be household. This is just for different household products, cleaning supplies, making the place smell good because I have 2 dogs and a husband and an adult son that stops over sometimes and they stink up the place. So that's an important one. My personal spending fund, that gets $50. That goes into there. Petrol, yes, the good old fuel that we have. That one gets $300. And our fuel prices have come down a little bit, so that's been about nice. So we get 2 50s, we get 6 20s. Double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correcto. We get 6 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 4 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever I say 4 5s, I always want to count out 5 5s instead of the 4. I do it every single time. So $300, 51, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. One of the other things that I like about our notes, because they're kind of like that polyurethane type, they don't stick to each other. Like when I watch people in the US doing their cash videos and they're like, oh, come apart. Don't have that problem with our notes here. They're quite happily come apart and makes it a little bit easier to count, I think, sometimes without getting hung up. Transport, this is to pay for our tolls, for taking the train, for taking the bus, or Also in my case, if I have to pay any parking fees. So one of my big bugaboos here in Australia is how much it costs to park at hospitals, in part because I'm there all the time. I just had an appointment earlier this week. I was there for an hour and a half and my parking fee was $27.40. So good times. So transport gets $150 for the fortnight. So that's going to be 250s and 220s. And 2 5s. What about where you live? Do you guys have to pay for parking at medical centers or hospitals? And is your cost there as ridiculous as ours is? I mean, honestly, it really comes out to about $20 per hour that we have to pay per parking, which I think at a hospital is just absurd, really. But don't even get me started on what it costs to park in the city or anything for a day. Let me know though down in the comments what, if any, fees you have for things such as tolls, parking, any of that. Always curious to know what's going on in cities and other parts of the world. So again, this should come out to 150. So 51, 20, 40, 45, and 50. Beauty-mus. Transport and fuel, these are the envelopes that we just kind of continue to roll over. So I don't clear out my envelopes at the end of each fortnight or really at the end of each month. I just kind of let it keep going, and then about every 3 months or so I go and I look, and if there's a heap of extra cash in there, then I'll take it out. Otherwise, I just let it continue because you never know when changes are going to come in, particularly with transport and with fuel costs. For my beautiful babies, my boys, for their food and snackies, they get $150 per fortnight. So they get a $100 bill, they get 220s. And 2 5s. I don't know why I say they get. Technically, they're not going to eat the money. Well, Turbo would eat it if he could. He eats everything. But their fund is receiving. So 100, 20, 40, 45, and 50. So that's Torquey Dork, and that's Turbo. Torque, we just celebrated his 3-year gotcha day. Both of our boys are rescued. We got Torquey Dork at 8 weeks, and we got Turbo at 12 weeks. And they're just the bestest boys I have ever had. Just love them to death. Well, not to death, but I love them oodles and oodles. Bulk groceries, we do enjoy going to Costco. I think my husband and my son enjoy going there with me more than I enjoy them going there with me. So we put an extra $50 per week for bulk. And again, this one just kind of adds up because there's no way I am setting foot in Costco more than once a month, because especially with my husband and my son, I would hardly ever have any money at all. Our miscellaneous fund, only putting 50 into this one. So 20, 40, so 2 20s and a 10. So 20, 40, 50, not a lot in terms of adding up there. Our eating out fund, my husband and I, we do have a date night or date lunch, usually once a week for that. This is usually when we go out, we discuss things such as what's going on with our budget, how are we going for the week, is there anything coming up, any major money decisions that we have to make. We are a partnership in this, so even though I am the one that does all the tracking of the finances and planning everything out and in the videos and such, he is very much a heavily involved person in this process. So that is going to get one $100 bill. And my favorite thing to have for eating out, I actually have two. So for evening, I love going out for pizzas. We've got this fantastic pizza place and they have their pizza special on Tuesday nights. So we're able to get, you know, a really good pizza. My husband, a couple beers, me, water, of course, because I can't drink. Only comes out to about $40, which is a steal. If we are going out for lunch, dumplings. I love dumplings. They're my favorite. I could eat them all day and all night. I could live on a diet of dumplings and pizza. I would probably even eat a dumpling pizza. What is your favorite food for eating out? So if you go out for something, not what is your go-to? Well, it might be your go-to, but if you only go out to eat so many times, what is your absolute favorite thing that you could eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Drop that in the comments below. Inquiring minds of mine are quite curious. And finally, I have health and personal care. So this is for things like my prescriptions, vitamins, any additional payments for health. So massages, physiotherapy, acupuncture, all of that different fun stuff. That is going to get $125. So that is 250s, 120, and 15. So 51, 20, and 25. That is going in there. And health and personal care, that is another one. So you can even see that there's money left in there. And I'll straighten it all out and I'll add it to my little tracker. I just don't do it all because I don't want to be here for 30 minutes. But I roll that one over as well because some weeks are more expensive than others. Different things come up. I might get new prescriptions. And then the last is my husband's spending money. So he gets the remaining $150, of which he will happily spend. I usually cannot get it into his hot little hands fast enough for him. And so I don't track any of that. I give it to him. He puts it in his wallet. He drops the change in the change jar. He's happy. I'm happy. Everybody's happy. All good. Now, the last thing that I did this fortnight as well, I did go through and I cleared out all of the $5 notes out of my envelopes. And that's kind of the little stack that I have here. And I'm going to put that into my May $5 note challenge. Just because I figured even if I'm not depleting the entire account, but most of them can handle having, you know, $5 or so taken out. I normally don't count it, but I figured why not? Everything's facing the same way. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So that's $40 going in there. So this is just basically anytime I get any cash back. So when I use my cash envelopes and I have a $5 kind of pass through my hands, I immediately put it into this. I never count it at the end of the month. I just continue. I actually never even count it going along. I never even make sure it's facing the same way. I just put it in there at the end of the month. I slap a big old piece of tape all the way around it, put it off to the side, and then come the beginning of December, I open all of these up and I add them and I giggle and I clap to myself. And I use that extra money usually for Christmas, or it might be for something else. So if you ever look at my sinking funds, we do have a relatively low sinking fund for our Christmas fund. And that's because I know that we're going to get additional money coming from elsewhere. So that is all of our envelopes for the next 2 fortnights here in May. So that will take us through weeks 4 and week 5. So the next one will be at the beginning of June. How in the world is it almost June? It kind of sneaks up on us. I find using cash envelopes, and I use cash envelopes even for the things that we use digitally, it really helps me to stay on budget, stay on track, particularly with eating out, because I love eating out. I love having experiences when I go out to eat. I do not like to go out for convenience. So a lot of times I don't go out to eat for something that I can make myself at home or that my husband can make at home. We go out for something that we cannot get at home or would be too complicated for us to do ourselves, and we like to make an experience out of it. And I could very easily spend $1,500 a month on different food experiences, and that has helped us to really rein that in. That's really the money that we've been putting towards our debt and our savings. Let me know how you're going in the comments section as well. I hope everybody has been having a fantastic May, that things have been working out for you. As always, remember to choose kindness, show gratitude, always keep a positive mindset, and I will see you in the next video.